Welcome to BlackBoard Collaborate training. This video will teach you about the virtual classroom platform and how it operates so you can participate in classes held through Collaborate. Returning students, there are a few changes from our previous platform, so this will be helpful to all of our VC students. First, log into Collaborate. To log into Collaborate, go to the URL and enter your username and password. You will see a list of your classes for that day at the bottom of your screen. At the bottom of the screen and to the right of your classes, you'll see a link that says Join about 20 minutes before your class starts, and you would click on that to access your class for the day. Now that we're logged in, we're going to talk about the basic functions within Collaborate. You should notice that you can see yourself. You're the virtual student. It'll actually be your first name and ID that will show here, so that you can see who else is in the class with you. In this case, there's only one other person who's the moderator, who is usually your teacher. Returning students are going to notice that it looks a little different, so one of the things to notice is how you are given speaking rights. Your teacher is in charge of managing all video, chat, and whiteboard permissions. You will know what permissions you have by looking next to your name in the participant window. If you click the drop-down menu, you can see what you have permission to use, which is not marked with the red X. Most of the time, when you get into class, your teachers will not have all those turned on for you, but you may have chat permission to talk with your friends before class. In the meantime, right now, all the permissions are turned on. So if you were to need to speak in class, just click the Talk button. And when you see that blue microphone that was up there, that means you are on an open mic. I'll show it to you again. Click Talk, and that means you're able to speak at that time and able to be heard in class. If the bar that registers your voice seems to be going all the way to the end, you'll probably want to turn your mic down a little. Just click on the slider and slide it down a little, so you're not hurting any of your classmates' ears. It is very important to know how to troubleshoot speaker and microphone issues in class. Sometimes you turn your laptop on and your headset is plugged in. Sometimes it's not. That can cause some problems within Collaborate. So with any kind of headset issues at all, the first thing that you would want to do when you're in a virtual class is check to see if it's not a problem with the actual headset. This tip should help. Go to Tools, Audio Setup Wizard, and look for whatever piece of equipment you're trying to use. So if you're trying to use a headset, that's the device you want to have selected. Make sure that all sound is going through the headset and through the microphone. And when play is hit, sound should be heard. If you can hear it, say yes. If you cannot, say no. And go back and choose a different device just in case you weren't quite sure which one you should be using at that moment. If you are still not getting any sound, then you want to let your teacher know through the chat that you can't hear. You might be able to get through a class without being able to hear, but you're going to want to call your student tech and take care of any audio problems. After you've checked the headset, you should check the microphone. There is only one choice here, but you may have more than one. Make sure you're choosing the headset you're trying to use. Once you do, you choose OK, Record. You test the microphone by just talking into it. If you see these green lines, it is picking up your voice, so you know it is working. If you can, you hit Yes. If there are any problems, choose No and try a different device. If you have any questions, you can ask your instructor when you're in class, and Student Tech is always around to help. A nice feature of Collaborate is that all the classes are recorded. So if you miss class or want to see something again, You can go to the same website that you go to for class. Once here, log in and click on the My Recordings tab at the top of the page. Here you will see some filter options that allow you to find the recording you are looking for. Just select the date range or the title of the session you're looking for and click View the Recordings at the bottom of the page. Then you can choose the class you want to view again, and you'll be able to see and hear everything that went on in class. But you won't be able to participate in the actual class. Now we are going to go through the different features of Collaborate that you will use in class. To participate in class, you will have the opportunity to use elements like emoticons, check marks, or applause to respond to questions. You can also use a chat feature to answer questions. All of the chat sessions are monitored by the teacher. A few features your teacher may use are the breakout session, application sharing, and web tour. Breakout session is a way to socialize with your peers and do group work at the same time. It's also a great feature for teachers because they can see which student completed what problem just by moving their cursor over to the problem. Application sharing is another unique feature of Collaborate. If a teacher wants to show a video, they can show it through the application sharing. If they want to go to a website, they can use the web tour feature. For example, if you're learning about the Great Wall of China, your teacher can go to a web page about the Great Wall of China and tour it with your class. You'll be able to explore the web page and look at the features on the site being toured. The whiteboard is the tool you'll use most often in Collaborate. The material that is being taught in class will appear on the whiteboard. When you want to answer a question or write on the whiteboard, you must be given permission by the teacher. A pen icon will appear next to your name, and a toolbox will appear on the left-hand side of the whiteboard. This toolbox has a pen tool, a highlighting tool, and different shapes and pointing tools to use to help answer questions in class. If you need to use a pointer tool, you can click here and choose which pointer to use. Let's use the smiley face. Notice that when I go to point something out on the whiteboard, the pointer moves as the cursor. Probably more important is using the pen stroke. If you click here, you notice a menu pops up. It tells what color you're writing in, how dark it is. You probably want to leave that at 100% most of the time, and how thick the line is. You can use this to write on the whiteboard or to answer a question. Now, if you click this button and hold it for a moment, you see that the highlighter tool pops up. You can use the highlighter tool to highlight different parts of the whiteboard. You can also use this button here to select objects. If you click the selection tool and click on the object created on the whiteboard, you can delete it if you want to. See, it's going to delete each individual line at a time. That way you can remove something and add something back in. The next button here is the capital A. It might sometimes appear as this A with the lines, and those are actually two different buttons. So the one with the lines next to it allows you to type in a text block. And as you type, whatever you type will be seen by the other people in the class. It's going to default to black. You can choose a different font, a different size, and make it bold, italic, or underline. So, you click in the box and you can type anything in this box. If you want to change it, you can highlight it and change the size. Change the font. You can make it bold if you like. And you'll notice that if you type words that are too big for the box, it just turns into a scrolling window, so you can scroll up and down. You can change the size of it by grabbing any one of these buttons here, and you can resize the box. By clicking the little arrow in the corner of the text box option, there's a capital A, which allows you to label something. Anywhere you click on the page, you can begin typing and can label something. No one will see the label until you hit the Enter or Return key. That will move the box, and you can move it anywhere you want for the next label. The next option then would be to put a solid shape on the board, either a square or circle. Again, you can choose the color, and it will cover up anything on the board that you put it over. You can also put empty shapes, circles or squares on the whiteboard. It may default to black, but again, you can just click and drag, and when you let go, that shape will show up. You can also create lines by clicking and dragging to any length or angle you choose. And if you want to get rid of any of the objects created, just highlight the object, hit backspace, and it will be deleted. Something that can be useful during class is sharing a screen capture of your desktop. Use the tool found here to take a screen capture and put that image on the whiteboard. Clip art might also be something you can use to demonstrate your point during class. You can use any of these items found under these different tabs and place them on the whiteboard. You have a Math Operations tab that you might need to use in some math classes, Math Relations tab, Logics, Statistics, and maybe in some classrooms you may need to use the Greek letters or uppercase or lowercase. And those are the basic functions found on the whiteboard. Here are some controls that allow you to show emotion in class or step out for a moment. This right here shows emotion. You can tell your teacher you're happy, that you're laughing. You can applaud, show that you're confused, give a thumbs up or thumbs down, or ask your teacher to move slower or faster. These icons will pop up next to your name so the teacher can see what it is you're trying to say in class. When you don't have chat permissions and you need to convey something, these buttons allow you to do it quickly. Now, if you need to step out of the room for a second and you want to let your teacher know that you're not at your desk at the moment, just click there. That means you're away. Of course, you have to make sure that you have permission to step away. If you have a question and you need to raise your hand, there's an icon for that. It will actually make a ding sound that the instructor can hear, so they know you have an important question to ask. You may be asked yes or no questions, and for that you'll use this button right here. A green check is for yes, red X is for no, or maybe you're abstaining from that question. You can always send a message to your teacher, even if you don't have chat permissions. You don't have chat rights right now, but you are still able to send a message to your teacher. And you can even throw in an emoticon just to let them know what's going on with you. Send it and your instructor can reply, and when the instructor replies, you'll see it pop up on your screen. When your instructor has given you chat rights, you can send a message to anyone in the class. There's no one here to send a message to, but if there was, you would be able to send a message to them as well. Hopefully, this tutorial has given you a thorough understanding of how Collaborate works. If you have any additional questions, please talk with your virtual classroom teacher. Thanks for watching.